Despite being a free exotic given to you, the Hunter exotic chest piece, the Raiden Flux, is arguably one of the best Hunter exotics in the game, particularly for Arcstriders. The exotic perk on the Raiden Flux has a strong resemblance to the Destiny 1 Encore perk for the Blade Dancer. In D1, Encore was a node in the skill tree which increased your Blade Dancer's damage and duration for killing enemies with your super. The perk was always good, but it became far more potent after it was buffed to grant a strong but temporary damage increase, instead of just the duration increase it had before. The Destiny 2 Raiden Flux is similar, since it provides the same effects as Encore, but with a significant difference. Instead of requiring you to get a kill with your Blade Dancer to get the Encore perk, Arcstriders only need to hit a target to get the same benefits. A problem I often had in D1 was when you're trying to use Blade Dancer to damage a boss, you had to constantly kill an enemy near the boss to continuously trigger Encore. Now with the Raiden Flux, you can just go nuts and spam your super combos on the boss and constantly refresh your damage buff and duration extender. As someone who played as a D1 Blade Dancer a lot, the sheer power and impressive duration of Arcstrider is really something to behold. Instead of just being a trash mob clearing super as we probably expected, Arcstriders are so much more dynamic than that. I was convinced that Nighthawk would have been the only way a hunter could pump out damage in D2, but boy was I wrong. So it's pretty clear I'm a big fan of the Raiden Flux, so let's talk about subclass options. I'd say the Way of the Warrior is the only tree really worth considering for several reasons. Firstly, the gambler's dodge ability tied with a combination blow and combat flow means you'll always have a melee or dodge ability ready. Getting health regeneration from charged melees and a 50% melee damage boost for 20 seconds, which can be refreshed incredibly easily, makes the skill tree appealing from the get-go. Deadly Reach is also not going to be wasteful, and the Lethal Current ability, which grants more damage to your arc staff after dodging, just adds onto the already solid build. The Way of the Wind skill tree is just not offering enough for me. Yeah, combat meditation is pretty good, but since the Raiden Flux is all about your super, and the Way of the Wind is more about your neutral game, go with the Way of the Warrior. Other perks of preference, but I've been liking Arc Bolt Grenades and Triple Jump. In terms of weapon configuration, the choice is pretty open. For Crucible, I usually run with my Origin Story and Last Hope, or for more serious PvE content, I usually run with Nameless Midnight and Cold Heart. Alright, places to use the Raiden Flux. I have to say virtually everywhere. There is no place in D2 where Arcstriders are particularly bad, since they can easily stun lock bosses from kicking you away, and melt shielded mages with ease. Public events, strikes, Crucible, and most of the Leviathan raid are great environments for Raiden Flux Arcstriders. The Castellum, the Beast Garden, the Baths, Gauntlet, and even ad clearing in the Callus fight itself are all great scenarios. The only problem you're going to have with this build is that you're going to run out of things to kill. I should also mention that how you actually use your Arcstrider combos is up to you, but I'm a big fan of the light heavy combo, ending with the force push maneuver. Against bosses, I feel like I've had the most success using this, and even throwing in a couple of airborne heavy attacks. It's actually pretty hard to go wrong with your Arcstrider combos now that I think about it. Anyway, Raiden Flux, Arcstrider, everywhere, go. Thanks for watching, guys.